Let Bela just fill this room for a moment with that beautiful note. Is that
If you like that nigun, nigun being, of course, a wordless song, a wordless prayer, we get it one more time in this service when we'll close. But then you have to wait a whole nother year to engage in this beautiful nigun, because though they're not here tonight, Ethan Parcell, who is normally on percussion and the clarinet, brought us this nigun, and this special nigun is going to be our seniors nigun, the nigun that we will highlight our seniors who are departing for better places, not better places, maybe just higher education. But tonight, we are so lucky to share this bima with our high schoolers who are part of the Crown Family High School program, a program where we meet every Wednesday evening to engage in everything from what is Purim about? Let's talk about the root systematic reasons for homelessness and what we can do about it. These young people engage in some of the most incredible conversations. And we're likely to say, like, oh, they're the leaders of the future. That is not true. They are the leaders of today. And it is such an honor to be led by them, especially tonight. And to help them get here, there have been so many. Some of them, many are part of the Or Shalom High School Executive Board. So if you're part of the executive board, can you stand for us? Nice. Well, thank you for your leadership in guiding and leading your classmates and your peers. Thanks, y'all. We also, many of our high schoolers engage with our religious school as madrichim or madrichot, and they are the ones who are in our classrooms. They're the ones who are helping all of our students from kindergarten on up to learn about Judaism and see that they could come later. How many of you or anyone else are madrichim? Can you stand? Yeah, I knew Curran was there. Nice. Thank you for helping all these generations grow and learn. Thank you all. And we have so many lay leaders as well. Our religious school committee, led by the chair, Lisa Sapir, and the vice president of education here at Temple Sholem, Irene Goldstein. Thank you so much. And our lifelong learning team, which is Rachel Lipson and Sam Cohen. You guys really set the groundwork for these guys to shine. Thank you all. With all of this prayerful and holy work that goes into everything that is going on tonight, all the people that have been involved, all the holy work that happens, we still, though, need to bring in that beautiful light, the fire, the warmth of Shabbat. And so we get to invite up Eva Brody with Isaac Brody and Joe Brody to join us on the Bima, as well as Meredith, as you bring up Mom and Dad Janine Ringland Zwern and Howard Zwern and your sister Rachel Zwern to join us on the Bima. As we as a congregation are going to open our Siddur to page 120 for our blessing over the Shabbat candles. There's a lot more obstacles to get to the candles tonight, but you got it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And we can all be seated except for Eva and Meredith in preparation for your Banot Mitzvah tomorrow. We'll invite you to lead us in the Kiddush, bringing that sweetness into our day as we rise as one community in body or in spirit on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzartan banu. V'shabbat kodosho v'ahava u'raso hinanu. Zikaron l'mashe v'reitzit. Ki hu yom tefillah l'mikra kodesha. Zecher l'tziyat Mitzrayim kinanu bakata v'tanu k'yashata mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodesha ve'ahava u'ratzon hinaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Yasher Koach, Ethan Meredith, we may all have a seat. We're really excited to celebrate the two of you tomorrow. And Eva and Meredith, looking forward to you two sitting up on this bima in the years to come. We're going to have a number of readings this evening that are going to help us get in that prayerful mood. And for our first reading, I invite up Sam, our fearless youth group leader.
Either you will go through this door or you will not go through. If you go through, there is always the risk of remembering your name. Things look at you doubly, and you must look back and let them happen. If you do not go through, it is possible to live worthily, to maintain your attitudes, to hold your position, to die bravely. But much will blind you, much will evade you. At what cost, who knows? The door itself makes no promises. It is only a door.
Thank you, Sam, for all you do in guiding our youth. As we are going to turn to page 138 for Lecha Dodi, as we are led into Shabbat with the Sabbath bride, doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. As we rise on the 9th verse. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishmiyanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem yiltiveret v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi makor haberacha, le'rosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machash tchila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori, uri shir daberi, kivod Adonai alayich mila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. We rise and face the center entrance. Oi v'shalom ateret bala, gam v'simcha v'tola, toch Ne'am segula.
Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat chala. B'nei Shabbat kabela. Lecha dodi likrat chala. B'nei Shabbat kabela.
Seated. As we turn to page 142, and to help us to lead Shalom Aleichem, we have Sydney.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
For the reading at the top of page 145, I get to invite up Abe and Max.
Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair.
Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest my routine set my ways.
On the top of the next page, we rise for the Baruch.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
Thank you, Addison, for leading us in a reading at the bottom of 149.
This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'arif Aravim.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We may be seated.
Ready? Yehaka et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anuhi mitzalecha hayom al levanecha veshinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam Veshivteha levedeha, uvleteha baderech, Ushopeha ukumeha. Usartan leo tayadeha. Lehayula totafo beneneha. Uftatam amazot beteha uvishareha. Leman tiskeru asitem et komitzotai. Vitem kedoshim lelohem. Ani Adonai Elohim. Asher hozetechem me'eretz Mitzrayim. Le'yot lehem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohim.
Amen.
Thank you, Anna and Lily.
And wonderful to see you, Micah, as we turn to the bottom of page, or to page 159 for Mi Hamocha, our song of redemption.
Sing the song of the men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
We turn back now to page 158, where we find those words for Mi Hamocha. Lai 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 Mi Hamocha Baili Madonai Mi Hamocha Nedavra Kodesh Noratu Hilo Josei Fele Noratu Hilo Josei Fele Malchut Chara Uvanecha Okay I am Lifnei Moshe Miriam Zeilianu Be'amru Zeilianu Be'amru Adonai Imo Leolam Naed Adonai Imo Leolam Naed. As we turn now to the top of page 161, we invite Caleb to share with us a reading there.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And Maya, I can think of no better person to hear the sacred lullaby sung to us and with us than you. We turn back to page 160, where we find the words of Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Beshalom Lechatiknenu Shomreinu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Beshalom Lechatiknenu Shomreinu Lechaim Haitenu Sukarubotenu Haim Shala Bet Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Lechatiknenu Shomreinu B'Shaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Lechatiknenu Shomreinu B'Chaim.
Thank you so much, Maya. And Lily, how wonderful that you will share a special reading by Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, the words of which can be found on page 163.
A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day.
Which leads us beautifully back to page 162 as Sammy leads us in Vishamru. With all the energy we can summon on this bima and in this congregation. We now join together with the words of Amidah, our standing prayer, page 164. We rise in spirit, in body. We rise with our feelings, with our prayers, and with our hopes, as Abe and Micah help to lead us in our central prayer.
Adonai Sephatai Tifta Ufia Gitehilata. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu V'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanara El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezoher Hastei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Gula Lishnei V'nehem, Leman Shamo V'Ahava, Melech Uzeru Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham V'Zrat Sarah. Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mehaye HaKol Atar Le'Mashiach, Morid Hatal, Mehakel Hayim B'Chesed, Mehakel HaKol B'Rahamim Ravim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar milchamo habal geburot umido melech melech memim umechayem umatzmiya Yeshua v'naman ata lehayot hakol baruch atah Adonai Mehaye HaKol.
Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'kol yom yahalu chatzala. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Tonight we have a very special invitation to our silent prayer that Casey will share with us. As we remain standing, we contemplate what we might find in these still and quiet moments.
We reach for you, our God, from our quiet places. May we stand still for a brief moment and listen to the rain. Stand still for a brief moment and watch the play of sunlight and shadow on the leaves. For a brief moment, listen to the world. Let us stop the wheels of every day to be aware of Shabbat. Find the stillness of the sanctuary which the soul cherished. Renew the covenant of an ancient people. We need a quiet space to test the balance of our days, with the weight of our own needs against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precarious. Steady us with faith. Quiet places and stillness, where we will hear our own best impulses speak. Quiet places and stillness, from which we will reach out to each other. We will find strength in silence, and with this strength, we will turn again to your service.
In this way, we now engage in our own silent prayer. And when you're finished with your silent prayer, please be seated.
Say shalom, Bimroma, Huya, say shalom, Aleinu, Eavo, Israel, Veimeru, Amen. Oh, say shalom, Bimroma, Huya, say shalom, Aleinu, Ve'ako, Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Ose shalom, Imroma, Uyase shalom, Aleinu, Ve'ako, Israel, Ve'imeru, Amen. Ose shalom, Imroma, Uyase shalom, Aleinu, Ve'ako, Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen.
With those voices, singing our beautiful song, A Prayer for Peace, it's easy then for us to try to think of the peace that there are so many in our community, that peace that they need, that peace that brings about a kind of healing, a cessation of pain, a way of being able to find comfort, a way of feeling cared for by our community. So as we turn to page 371, I invite you to share the names of those who you are thinking of, who are in need of healing of body, of mind, of spirit, who need that blessing of peace, that blessing of health.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishevera, Imoteinu, Kor Abraham, those who need a healing, through us right now, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Which is just beautiful because we continue to hold people in our hearts who are in need of healing. And some of us have said the names of those loved ones, and some of us haven't yet. And so maybe we can share the names one more time, and then maybe we can hear just one more verse of Mishaberach, bringing them healing. So if you haven't yet said the name of your loved one who's in need of healing, or your friend or community member or someone you know, or someone you don't know, but communities that are in need of healing, I invite you to share those names. Refuah Shlema. So there might be some of you who are here tonight because you're ready to celebrate your birthday. So for those of you who have a birthday in the month of May and would like to receive a birthday blessing, well, please come forward. Oh, wow. You can come just right here. Wow. I saw those 13-year-old eyes. That was amazing. And yet, thank you still for being such an amazing role model for us, and an amazing soul. It's wonderful to see you. And you know what? I'm going to take a little step back. Why don't we both stand right up here, and you can stand right here. How's that? So that it won't be so awkward that you can just, maybe it is a little awkward, who knows? Either way, I just want to share with you that I love the month that you have, the Hebrew month in which you celebrate your birthday is ER. And that word actually comes from the word for blossom or blooming. And so I hope that this year, this new year of life for you, is a time where you find yourself blossoming and blooming with new adventures, great ideas, satisfaction of friends and community and family. And we pray that this is a wonderful time of not only discovery, but also of being able sometimes just to put your feet up and say, you know what, this is enough. And so may this be a great year of life for you. When did you celebrate your birthday? And when will you? What day? Tomorrow. We've got a great party maybe for you too tomorrow. This is great. The 12th? The 10th?
26th.
The 26th. Oh, coming up. And so for all of you, we wish you a very happy birthday, and we don't take these moments for granted. So we sing the Shehachianu, thanking God for bringing us to this sacred moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu hazman hazeh. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Mazel tov. Mazal tov. So I'll say that in this week's Torah portion, just in and of itself, just in its very name, we learned something. The name of this week's Torah portion is Bahar, which means on the mountain, on Mount Sinai. What are they talking about here? They're talking about where do we get the origin of these laws that we're about to hear in this Torah portion? And they say, oh, from Mount Sinai. Well, of course we got them from Mount Sinai. Moses has been on Mount Sinai getting these laws for a very long time. So the sages ask, why is it that we need to hear that the origin of our laws, the origin for the ways that we live our lives, the origin of our values comes from Mount Sinai? Some of the sages teach that it's because whenever you hear great wisdom, wherever you might be, it's as though you are standing at Mount Sinai again. So friends, welcome to Mount Sinai. We are about to hear from our seniors their extraordinary wisdom, the ways in which this sacred place, you, their community, have shaped their lives. And so tonight we are grateful to hear from 3 of our seniors. Zoe Oken is another one of our wonderful seniors who couldn't be here tonight. But tonight we have the great honor of hearing from Michael Bayer, Bela Cohen, and Marcus McDermott. So will you start us off, Michael? And we'll get that stender for you now. Perfect, thank you. Yeah.
The last few months, the seniors have been meeting with Rabbi Conover for senior seminars. Senior seminars were a phenomenal opportunity where we really dug into the big questions of Judaism. Everything from Jewish beliefs about the afterlife to why did God create us? We really dug into the hard questions of Judaism. And while these questions are all very interesting to explore, there's one question that I always find myself returning to and pondering. What does it mean to be Jewish? For starters, I know I'm Jewish. I've been coming to temple on Sundays for as long as I can remember. I go to services on high holy days. I'm a part of Crown Family High School, and I had a bar mitzvah. But I don't keep kosher. I love me a good cheeseburger. Do I pray before every meal, go to services every Friday night, and uphold all values of Judaism every moment of my life? I would love to. But the modern world makes being Jewish in that way challenging. But that's another topic entirely. So then, what does it mean to be Jewish? While I can't say I have the answer, I did find some guidance from Edmund Flagg, a Jewish writer and thinker born in the 1800s. He wrote a piece called Why I Am Jewish that lists many of the reasons he is, well, Jewish. He says he's Jewish because he was born of Judaism. That's definitely a big reason most of us are Jewish, but it's not a requirement. Plenty of people convert and we welcome them as we would any other Jewish person. He also says he's Jewish because his faith requires no abdication of mind. This idea is really important to me because that's one of my favorite parts about Temple Sholem. Here, we are encouraged to think for ourselves and use Judaism as a lens to guide us, not just a set of rules to strictly follow. As I have gotten older, I have found my Jewish education has become more centered on how we, as Jewish adults living in a modern society, interpret Jewish teachings as opposed to just ingraining them in our heads. Edmund Flagg goes on and lists many more reasons why he is a Jew, yet for each one, I can say that someone can be Jewish without that reason. As I was reading this, trying to find the one thing that tells me why I am Jewish, I had an epiphany. Edmund Flagg wrote, I am a Jew, not you are a Jew or we are Jews. We all have our own reasons and ways in which we are Jewish, and that's just fine. I'm a Jew because I was born Jewish to Jewish parents, and I had a bar mitzvah, but also because I love this Jewish community. When the college process got hard and school got stressful and the pandemic ruined everything, Crown Family High School was the rock that got me through it all. A time I could socialize and learn with my peers that made me feel whole in a time where everything was falling apart. I'm Jewish because I love matzo ball soup and kugel, but also because I think the messages of Tikkun Olam and Gimilut Hasadim are values we need to share with the world. I am Jewish because I am Jewish, and I am proud and grateful for my faith in Temple Sholem. Shabbat Shalom.
Good evening. In a midweek study session with Rabbi Conover, my classmates and I were given prompts to digest and interpret. We came upon a teaching from Kierkegaard, who tells of a man who passed a store in which it said, "We press suits here." So the man brought his suits into the store, but when he did, the store owner came up to him and said, "You made a tremendous mistake. We don't press suits here. We only make signs." At first, I admittedly had a lot of trouble trying to understand the deeper meaning of this teaching. How could someone relate to a sign store that advertises false information? And how could I, as a Jewish teen and as a young adult, learn about how I interact with others from this story? As I thought more about it, the reason the passage resonated with me so much is because in the last 2 years, everyone has been putting up false advertising unintentionally. Wearing face masks causes people to assume so much, with appearance being a big factor of most people's choice and interaction. I remembered how the social aspect of the lives of practically every teen everywhere has been affected for the past 2 years. The COVID-19 pandemic halted normalcy until society adapted to it and allowed it to become the norm. Personally, when the pandemic started and we all had to social distance with mask mandates and schools shutting down, I wasn't sure how to react, much less how to maintain my relationships with anyone I didn't live with directly. And even with my immediate family, we got sick of each other after being cooped up for months. Thinking back on it, the pandemic definitely stunted my social growth, cutting my high school experience in half and throwing me into the entirely different experience of online learning. This was also the case with Temple Sholem. However, the community here held strong with Zoom meetings every Wednesday for Crown Family High School and every Sunday for Sunday School, where I was a madricha, which is a teacher's assistant. At Temple on Wednesdays, I was able to be genuine with myself and with other Jewish teens as I rediscovered the community and environment that I had first grew to be a part of in my freshman year. Having the ability to decompress and to be included in such a unique and enriched conversations surrounding Judaism, their culture, and media, modern issues, and everything in between was a huge factor in why I am still so connected to Judaism. Returning to the teaching by Kierkegaard, I began to grasp the concept by putting up false advertising for others. By doing this, you are inherently being for other people and not for yourself, stifling you from creating better connections. Advertising something false about yourself forces you to keep up an act instead of being authentic during your interactions. This is why being able to see past the masks and getting to know someone personally has been so crucial throughout the pandemic. The teachers and staff at Temple Sholem have been amazing mentors and listeners and helping me through that. Prominently, I remember Erez and Arella for teaching me Hebrew, although there were many other fantastic people I had the opportunity to be taught by. With Crown Family, Rabbi Conover, Rabbi Singer, and Rabbi Gelman were awesome sources of education and conversation, as well as Cantor Ben David, who helped me through life ever since my bat mitzvah, and Jane and Rachel, who are our leaders of Sunday school, and also Sam for being present and leading Crown Family High School every Wednesday. And to everyone who has prevented me from creating my own false advertisements, I thank you. And I will take this, along with many other lessons and values that I've learned from Temple, on my journey into college and beyond. I hope to carry the same values and lessons to others throughout my life, influencing them with the core of what I've learned, to be virtuous and true. Thank you to all for listening. Shabbat shalom.
I truly want to be here. It's very easy to say, I'm bored, or just zone out and go on your phone. But I didn't make it to this point because I endured the boredom. Were there times of monotony? Yes. Was it hard to show up and pay attention when I was sitting on a Zoom call alone in the basement? Yes. But I'm here before you today because I wholeheartedly want to be here. When I was going through the college application process, my counselor told me something that stuck with me. She said that the distinction between an application that'll be denied and an application that'll be accepted isn't the number of activities you list or the number of APs you take. What distinguishes the good from the great is your depth of character.
I don't show up every Wednesday because I want to be seen here. I don't value whether or not being a part of Crown Family High School will look good on applications. What's important to me is the amazing friends I've made here and the unique education I've received. As I reflect on my 4 years, what shocks me the most is the difference between the me today and the first day of Crown me. My first day of Crown Family was terrifying to me. As I walked into the room of 30 people that were a part of Crown Family at the time, I saw people eating, talking, and laughing. The issue wasn't that I didn't know anyone. The issue was that I didn't have the confidence to start talking with the people I knew and introduce myself to the people I didn't. Now, every time I walk into a room, I think of all the new people I get to meet and learn about. Crown is a place to connect with people you wouldn't otherwise see or even know. Crown is a place to pursue knowledge that would be considered a touchy subject elsewhere. Crown is a place to socialize and fraternize, as well as a place to philosophize about global issues and individualize your pursuit of knowledge. Every Wednesday night is filled with this sense of communal passion that has forced me to increase my depth of character. What makes me truly want to be here is how our heated debates are rooted in different interpretations of scripture, and how our conversations about world issues often resolve with how we as students can take social action to make a difference. I can go on about my favorite lessons or my favorite memories, but there is a commonality between all of them. They all showed me a little something about myself. You would think that since you've been you your whole life, you know you best. But Crown Family High School is like the key to a lock. Crown has been a place for me to look inward, learning about myself and how I relate to Judaism, as well as how I can make a difference in the world. The aspect of Crown that I value the most is how the students are prioritized. Crown Family High School is not a 2-hour lecture on how to be the best Jew, but it focuses on investigating and discussing the world around us so that we can create change and take a stance on issues that are happening this instant. Even though my time at Crown Family is ending, I will hold with me the discussions about the true creation of Adam and Eve, the multi-millennium long timeline of Judaism, the meditation sessions with Rabbi Conover, and so much more. I'll hold with me the meals with Sandy yelling about his fantasy football team across the CYO, the meals I had in my room in front of my computer, and the meals we had sitting in a circle without a table eating personal pizzas. Even though my 4 years have been rather tempestuous, Crown has been a constant. It's made me who I am and has instilled a sense of passion in me for everything I do. I owe it to the clergy, my peers graduating and rising, my family, for creating and supporting my want to be here. Thank you. I'd now like to invite Yael Cohen as a representative of the incoming freshman class. From the leaving to the entering, I'd like to present you with a present.
Symbolically, I promise all the 8th graders you will also get this present, but this is the official receiving of the present.
This little Havdalah set is for you to use and cherish as this big transition from your middle school life to your high school life and your pursuit in Crown Family High School and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe now our Director of Lifelong Learning, Jay Rappaport, has some gifts for our seniors. And so seniors, you can come and join Marcus here at the Center Bima.
Aren't they amazing? It's so wonderful to be led in worship tonight by all of our teens, to hear the wisdom of our seniors. And we have some not parting, but occasion gifts for you. I'm going to use some words for them that I think kind of apply to all three of you, but I'm picking one of you for each of these very important things. First of all, Michael. Michael, I feel like you are our mensch, and a mensch among mensches. The way that you exemplify being there for people as an 8th grade madrich, and the way you show up for all of the things that you talked about in your speech in this community. We are so grateful for your time with us and so excited for what's next. So this is for you. A few tokens of our appreciation to take with you on your way. And a little certificate to commemorate this really exciting time. Bela, I think about you, I think about your talent and the joy that you bring to our community through your creativity, through your presence and your dedication, and all of the fun and funny moments that we've had with you over the years. We saw a lot of pictures of those in the slideshow tonight. We've had a lot of funny things. Bela, we're so glad you've been a part of this community. So we have some gifts for you as well. Here you go. Marcus, a leader among leaders, president of our executive youth board, the strong presence in all of the ways that you stand up in this community, and the advocate for the things that are important. And we're so grateful that you brought your leadership to our community, and we're so excited to see you bring who you are out into the world from here. And we'll always be proud, and we'll be proud of all three of you. Now, you may be wondering out there, what are these things that they're all getting? I'll tell you. We have for our seniors some important symbols to take on their way. Some wisdom of our ancestors they've studied with Rabbi Conover. A travel version of the Siddur, the prayer book, which you all have in your hands tonight to take with them, and a travel version of our Torah so that they have the wisdom of our tradition with them as well on their bookshelves. And as you move on from here to where you go next, and we thank you all, and we appreciate you all, and we're so excited to celebrate you all. Mazel tov.
Thank you so much. So seniors, you can drop those off at your seats, and then we invite you to make your way up the stairs to the Aron Kodesh, all the way up those stairs, while the clergy will stay on the bottom of the stairs. So we'll take this moment to say just a few words to you before we have we'll invite the congregation, please rise. So as we see you now at this top of the mountain, what's wonderful about this is that you get the viewpoint. You get to look out and see the community that's shaped you, that loves you, that embraces you, and also that you now lead and that you teach. And so in these moments, then we know that you come up and down this mountain many a time. You go down to nourish yourselves and learn new things. And you go back up to see the perspective and share that wisdom with others. We're grateful for this evening to be able to, as a congregation, bless you in this time and thank you for your incredible contributions, not only to Crown Family High School, but as leaders in this community. And so in this way, the entire community will bless you. So we invite everyone.
So if you hold up your hands like this, And at each refrain, you're going to say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. Try that. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be God's will. You'll find where you come in, all right? Yevarech Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and
Ken Yehi Ratzon. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'kunecha. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
May God's light continue to shine down upon you, guiding your path to graciousness.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
May you continue to feel yourselves lifted by a divine presence, by your community, by your family, by your friends, by that magical spark within you, and may that bring you peace.
Amen.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
And now, as everybody's here, why don't everybody just blow them a big kiss? I mean, mwah. Big mazel tov to you and mazal tov to your families. You can come back toward your seats now. As we as a community continue to reflect on the things that are coming up, we invite you to find all of those things that are coming up. When you leave the sanctuary, you'll find for yourselves a card that has a place where you can look at it, a QR code that tells all of the things that are going on. We are going to share with you some of these things very briefly.
Tomorrow, there are two exciting things happening. If you are interested in mindful Jewish aging, for those exploring the spiritual gifts of life after 50, that joins at 1 p.m. online. And then for the other end of the age spectrum, if you are in our 20s, 30s cohort, Makom, along with Beis Hillel, is having a tough stuff brunch club to gather together and wade into conversations about those more difficult parts of life.
Beautiful. And this Sunday, we are going to have our closing session of religious school. School is about to be out for summer, and we're going to have a beautiful concert at 11 o'clock and then a wonderful picnic after that as a community. So we're looking forward to that, as well as on the following Thursday. So a week from yesterday, we'll have a special IOT Chicago Festival of Israeli Cinema film discussion. That's going to be 6 p.m. online. And then finally, we're looking forward to Sunday, June 12th. It's a little bit in the future. At 2 p.m., we're going to join with the Women of Temple Sholem for an artful afternoon in Bronzeville. The reason why we're sharing this with you tonight is you want to sign up already because the early bird pricing ends Sunday, May 22nd. So please, this Sunday is the end of the early bird pricing. So sign up already. We're ready for you. We can hardly wait to go on that incredible tour of some of the galleries in Bronzeville together. We continue now with, Kendra, did you want to add anything?
That was a lot.
It's a lot.
I'm just absorbing everything.
I love that.
The first time I have nothing to say.
Let it be the last. We love
Or let it be
hearing from
so.
you. On the bottom of page 586, we find the words of Aleinu. Please rise.
Before we read, Well, but there's the Omer. There's also Max Silberg. And to be honest with you, I like Max even better than the Omer.
So let's go Max and then we'll do the Omer. And you know what? I think you guys can have a seat.
Yeah, no Omer, guys. We're no longer in that time. Okay.
No, it's going to come after you. You're that important. You got to bump the Omer.
Thank you. Let us now praise the sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of the Creator who has set us apart from the other families of the earth, giving us a destiny unique among the nations. We bend the knee and bow, acknowledging the supreme sovereign, the Holy One of blessing.
And with that, now we rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol,
Latit gidula leotzer breshit, shalo asanu k'miyeh haratzot, velo salanu k'mishpatot adama, shalo sam kochinu kahem, v'gor alim k'echol hamona, v'anachnu korim, mishtachavim modim, lifnei melech, Malkei Abraham, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'emar, V'hayadonai, Melech al kol haaretz, V'yomaru, Hiya Adonai Echad, U'shmo Echad.
If you're standing, please be seated as we turn back to page 570 for the counting of the Omer, this time between Passover and Shavuot, as we make sure to count each day and make each day count. I'll say that yesterday was Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer, which meant that last night was the 34th day of the Omer. So now you know what tonight will be.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer hayom chamisha u'shloshim yom shehem chamisha shavuot laomer.
Today is the 35th day, which is 5 weeks of the Omer. And in this time of counting the Omer is a time where we try to find ways in which we can see the subtleties in this world. And in this week, we look for that kind of sphira, that kind of attribute of light. And not that kind of overwhelming light, but that light that underpins all good things. And I want to say that with these youth here up on our bima, I think we can see sometimes that splendorous light that comes out so much. And we also know that there were so many who shaped their lives, whose light still shines through them in more subtle ways, yet profoundly still. And so as we remember people who passed from this earth, whose light shone so bright when they were alive, we understand that their light still shines in this earth through their legacy. And so at this time, we remember Sari Lipschultz, Marla Tyson, Jean Rose, Morton Jaffe, Fuchs Alibert Nuta, Jay Glickman, Hannah Hess, May Butterman, and Jane Ellen Lippman. We also remember those whose yahrzeit we mark on this Shabbat: Jerry Acker, Jerome Brown, Ronald Burstein, Melvin DeGraff, Jody Dicker, Gertrude Fishman, Marshall Goldman, Clara Golub, Bonnie Levitt Harris, Lillian Hendel, Ms. Dorothy Lamson, Samuel Marinson, Marion Mendels, Mortimer Miller, Shlomo Maradi, Bernard W. Newman, Reba Okaret, Philip Prince, Percy Burton Revels, Inez Isabella Ringland, Albert Rosenberg, Justin Rosenfeld, Robert Ross, Harold Schomer, Sydney Schreiber, Mayor Takinski, Charles Wolf, Sue Wolf, and Julian I. Zinder. There are others you're remembering on this Shabbat. I invite you to say their name. The words of Kaddish Yatom are found on page 598. Please rise.
Yit Gadal Vikrash Me Rabba Belma Dibrach Kerativ Amlich Makute Vechayechon Umeachon Uvchaye Dekol Beit Israel Bagala Uzman Kari Vimru Amen. Yesh Me Rabba Mevarach Leolam Ume Almaya. Hit barach, vishtabach, vid par, vid ramam, vinatse, vitadar, vitalel, vitalal, shme krusha brechu. Leila mincho birchata vishirata, tushbechata venechamanta, damiram bama vimru amen. Hehesh mama rava min shamaya, v'chaim alenu v'al kol Yisrael, vimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yatzeh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. So parents of our seniors, we invite you to join us on the Bima. Siblings of our seniors, grandmother of a senior of ours, please join us on the Bima. Irene, don't think that you could get away with not being on the Bima. Please come on up. I don't see Lisa Sapir, so you'll have to represent both of you. And Sam and Jay, please join us on the Bima. Jeremy, I know you're going to want to take a picture, so take it quickly and come up on the Bima. Yeah. We want to appreciate our incredible team. Rabbi Gelman, I want to say mazel tov to the Zwern family. We're looking forward to tomorrow. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. And here we go.
Come on around. Come on around.
So we'll end this evening the way we began. No, you get to stay right here. And we'll end this evening with the special nigun we started with. Ready? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Rachel Lipson, I didn't see you in there. Come on up, please. Eighth graders, join us up here as we get a little more energy here. Shabbat shalom and mazal tov. Shabbat shalom.